Welcome to the first episode of the Wii Collection series, where I go through every game in my old Wii, and sometimes Wii U, collection that I had as a kid and try to 100% them now as an adult. I have some weird games here and there, and I wanted to showcase them to you and try to complete them all and rank them as I finish each one. It's a little different considering that I'm used to doing it more with movies and shows, but we'll see how this goes. First up is Kirby's Return to Dreamland. This is my first Kirby game, which is cool. Back before I had this game, I would go to my friend's house and we'd play the boss rush over and over and over again. I remember him being a fiend over the sword copy ability, which was super funny. But that inspired me to get it for myself about like a decade later. Yeah, this was the first one I bought recently. Not like super recently, but in the last 5 years. I got a GameStop gift card for Christmas and thought it would be a good thing to have in my collection. Whatever, I didn't really care that it had the default GameStop case, I just wanted the game. But anyway, to 100% this game, we need all 120 energy spheres and beat all the extra modes. They don't technically count towards 100%, but I'm gonna do them for the sake of this video. The story goes that a suspicious ship crash landed, and Kirby agrees to help fix the ship by finding all the pieces that flew off when the ship was crashing. Cue 8 different themed worlds with basic platforming. There is another world when it turns out the guy who crash lands is evil and all, but they're pretty basic too. The boss fights are pretty fun though. And now that I'm an adult playing it, I'm realizing how easy this game is. I've heard Kirby games are easy before, but the only collectibles in these levels are the energy spheres. The energy spheres are interesting because they're literally just hidden wherever you haven't looked. They're very easy to find. I am playing this on the original Wii with my old save file that I never beat, so some of the spheres I've already collected. Unfortunately, none of the levels' designs really stuck out to me while playing. It was mostly just something I could play and turn off my brain with very basic puzzles. In my 20 years of playing video games, I know how most of these games work, except a few which took me a while to get down. Some of the later worlds aren't hard, but the things they ask of you are sort of tedious. That's not the fault of the game though. Kirby games are meant to be people's first ever games. It teaches them the basic mechanics and how video games work. I can't really compare it to Celeste, which hinges on you understanding basic platforming mechanics. Not a bad thing, but they're both going for completely different things with completely different audiences in mind. I will probably bring up Celeste in these videos a lot considering it's my favorite game of all time, but let's move on. There's just not really a ton of collectibles, 80 spheres in the main world and then the rest in the other dimension, and that's really all you have to do in the main story is get all the spheres. The rest is not needed, but the level design rewards exploring even if there aren't a lot of places to explore. It's mostly like, there's probably something in the places I haven't looked, and then you look and there's something there, usually either food or stars, or a sphere requiring a copy ability presented earlier in the level. So it's either go back and get the copy ability, enemies respawn when they're off screen by the way, or restart the level entirely. Especially in these later levels, restarting is essential for certain levels. Thankfully the game has grace sometimes and restarts you in the room you died at with full health. The only downside is you don't keep your copy ability, which can be a little tedious, but there are so many enemies that I was able to get a new one pretty easily after dying. You are kind of limited in copy abilities since you get what the level gives you and it's pretty easy to lose your ability, usually like 1 to 2 hits. Thankfully you can just suck the ability up again and then just keep on trucking. Another thing is each copy ability has its own detailed moveset with different abilities and attacks. It makes the gameplay super fun and addicting, but some of the moves are just better than others in certain situations. The side modes are fun too. Scope Shot and Ninja Dojo are fine. Nothing insane, but pretty fun nonetheless, but I'm more interested in the story. The amount of times I died, as well as how I died, is insane. For some reason, I am awful at this game, and really stupid. It took me about 10 minutes to figure out what I was supposed to do in this room. It makes for some funny moments, and I never game over because this game is so generous with how many lives it gives you. But it was kind of tedious restarting some rooms. I'm bad at this game, mostly because I'm playing on a sideways Wii remote, something that the remake fixes, but I'm not spending $60 on that. I know they added new content and rehauled the art style, but I prefer to play this game how it was back when I was a kid. But anyway, Kirby's Return to Dreamland was so much fun to 100%. This is the first Kirby game from my childhood, and the only one I've played if you don't really count Air Riders. Return to Dreamland is simple, but has so much charm and fun mechanics that I can't help but appreciate it. Those boss fights are just so much fun. I think they're the best part of the game. So now that we're done talking about the first game in the series, let's rank it. I love a lot of what it has to offer, and the experience of playing it with friends or alone is a lot of fun, regardless of if you're doing either. It's a great game with fun mechanics and modes to keep you entertained. I'll give it a solid tier mainly due to the sideways Wii remote kind of bringing it down, but it's still solid. The list will get bigger as the series goes. But with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.